What's up, everyone? I hope you had a great Father's Day weekend, and today we're kicking it off in the green for a new week. I'm walking away making slightly below $1,400 profit, and I'm a little disappointed in myself because I was above $2,000, but I made a mistake. I made a bad trade and it just didn't go so hot, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass for it, but really I'm just taking a step back and learning from it so I don't repeat the same mistakes again. So give us a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on that notifications button, and let's jump right into the stocks that I traded today that were the money-making trades of the day. All right, what's good, guys? So today was an enormous market rebound. S&P 500 currently, as we speak, is up 1.33%. Triple Qs are up 70 basis points, and the market reclaimed the 50-day moving average, which is pretty incredible if you take a look at this, right? So this is the 1-year chart on the S&P, and every time we've dipped to the 50 on the S&P 500, we've bounced. Look at these bounces off the 50. I mean, and today is just another one. So very strong market. The market's holding its upward trend, even though we get these sell-offs that seem like it's finally going to have the market roll over. The dip buyers and the institutions come straight back up, and Jerome Powell just keeps printing money. So that's exactly what happens in this market, and it's relentless. But as a day trader, honestly, I don't care. I don't care if we go long or short. I just want big moves. I want volatility, and that's what we got today. So today with the S&P 500, one of the trades that we actually took was on the breakout of intraday high on the 10-minute time frame right here. So right there, once it was going to break out of 417, we played 417 calls, and if you held it throughout the day, it's been a money-making trade, nice and easy, right up the AMC. You could have taken your profits anywhere up here in the 419, 420 zone, and been an excellent trade. So the SPY calls worked out beautifully, right? And you can see that the momentum on the SPY has just been very strong. One of the industry sectors that had been doing really well today were the financials. So in pre-market, I was telling our traders we're gonna go long the banks today because the 10-year yield was up. Currently it's at 1.482, but we're getting a bounce in the 10-year yields, and the banks, just like JPM, prior to this day's action, extremely oversold. It was trading below the lower Bollinger Band. The RSI on the daily was below 30. It just had every indication that it was oversold. So today was the bounce day, and we got it. So this was my play on JPM. I went long in pre-market right here. I went long, starter position, 500 shares. I told everyone if this dipped to like the 148.40 zone, 148.60 zone, I'll add into the position for a bottoming tail bar reversal. That was literally what I wanted. But what I got right out of the gates was a big push. So when I got that push, I ended up taking profits. Let me see here. Let me see. My entry was 148.90. I ended up taking profits at 149.70. So almost a full dollar per share. I ended up moving my stops up, and I got stopped out, but the high of day at that time was on this nice double top, so 150.83. So I did leave about $1 per share, which kind of annoys me, but I had to manage the profits just in case we got a quick pullback. So JPM was a nice trade right out of the gates, and you could have traded literally any bank. So watch Citigroup, nice breakout at the open. Watch BAC, Bank of America, nice breakout at the open. I think even Wells Fargo was a nice trade. Yep, look at that. Wells Fargo's a little bit cleaner. We had a nice breakout and then consolidation and held the 8MA the entire time, and we're at practically intraday highs today. So the banks overall were a solid trade. I prefer JPM simply because of the range that the stock provides me. So this was a nice trade. This was my very first trade after well, my very first trade when the market opened. But technically, my very first trade was AEI today in pre-market. Got some news today. The stock is low float, and I got in on the stock right in this zone, 585, and took profits at 666. Not my favorite number, but that was the execution price of my sell order. So 666 was a nice profit right here, like right in this zone. And the stock, I mean, I sold a little early because the stock ripped up to, $8. So, I did leave some profit there on the table, but nonetheless, the stock was a little bit of a parabolic mover, in pre-market. It was riding that upper Bollinger Band the entire time. So because of that, I wanted to take quick profits before I could have encountered a pullback on it. I never got that pullback, but you can't. This is what I tell everybody: don't get mad at your profits. Granted, you may not capture the entire move. No one's a perfect trader, but if you walked away with profits, don't be mad at it. Enjoy those profits and move on to the next idea, the next opportunity that presents itself. So that's just my attitude when it comes to trading. One trade that really kind of upset me today, and I gave back $1,000 on this one. So I could have been up like close to $2,500 today, but I gave back a good amount here, and that was with ALF. So ALF had this huge volume pop. I got in on this candlestick on the pullback. So I ended up getting in right here at like 841, right? That was my entry on the dip. The stock bounced and made a new high, and I was sitting in decent profits. I think about like $400 or something. And I got greedy. I got greedy because I saw the daily chart on this. I saw the daily chart and I thought to myself, oh my God, today we made a new high. What's the next daily resistance? 920. We're gonna go get it. That's what I told myself. We're gonna go get it. Today is the day, right? And I got in on a dip buy. Excellent trade, excellent entry. Now let's push it, right? Not exactly. So I got in on the dip. If my chart wants to, come on. There we go. It's slow. It's a little slow today. I got in on that dip. It rallied higher, made a new high. You can see it on this candlestick. I should have done two things. One or two things. I should have taken profits, or I should have placed stops at my entry. A free trade, as I call it, right? It made a new high. I should have placed stops at my entry, so that way, in case if it fails, like it did, I'll lose nothing. I should have done that, but I didn't. I got greedy. I saw it pull on me. It got a little red, and I thought to myself, you know what? The dip buyers are going to come in. Let me add below $8. That's exactly what I did. I added right there. Let me see. What was my ad? $7.98. So I started off with 1,000 shares here. Added another 1,000 shares there. So now my new average was $8.20. My new average is $8.20. I brought it down by 20 cents, and I thought to myself, all right, price action is caught to the AMA. Let's bounce it on this AMA. I never got it. The stock tried to hold the 8 and the 50, and then yanked on me, and I got out exactly at, let's see here, I'm opening up, $7.74. So I pretty much lost like $1,000 on that trade, and that really upset me because I was in the green. It wasn't a huge amount, but a $400 gain is fine. I should have been okay with that, and I should have taken that profit. But a little bit of greed got into me today, and that trade really just kind of shook me. I told myself, Alex, like, if I see $200, $300, $400, I should just take it. I'm a scalper. I like taking those scalps, and all these scalps add up. I made the mistake, and I got a little ahead of myself, got a little hot-headed, right? Think with the idea that this was going to break out to 925, that it's a low floater. Oh man, where can this thing go? Looking at level 2, I got a little too ahead of myself, and the stock pulled back. I added just to bring down my average, lost $1,000. So at the end of the day, what's really what I do consider a strength of mine is that I recognize my mistake, I learn from it, and I move on very quickly, right? Because after those trades, I took some other trades with Tesla that were pretty damn nice. So with Tesla, I've been scalping this thing all day to the upside, and my first trade started right here. 615 calls on Tesla, had a nice gain there, and I've just been scalping it, especially all up in here. I've been scalping the stock. It's been a nice trade. But I really want to just explain what I saw here and what made me buy 615 calls on Tesla all the way down here. So the stock sold off right away, and I'm always keeping an eye on the triple Qs and the SPY. You've got the S&P 500 on really nice broad strength. You've got the triple Qs, they sold off but rebounded very nicely. Let me show you the chart on the triple Qs. So you had this initial sell-off and a beautiful recovery, kind of gave back about 50% of that recovery and then rallied back up. So seeing the strength in the tech sector, it built a little bit more conviction and confidence in going long on Tesla. Tesla sold off. Price action caught up to the 20 MA. 8 MA is hooking upward right under the price action. And what I saw here was a nice little bull flag. Nice consolidation. What's my risk? I placed my risk at 614 when I got in at about this zone at the 615. Got 615 calls. Boom. Broke out. And it by the time I got done with it, it was at about 620, 619, around that zone. So I took my profits in this zone right here. And that trade alone, I was able to get back, I was able to make actually about $1,200. So, you know, it was a nice trade, and that's what I saw. That's what I saw in Tesla. And Tesla is a stock that when I do build conviction, my minimum is always 10 contracts. And I always go next week expiration just to avoid any strong like time decay. So one thing that happened to me today with AMC ended up being a losing trade for me today as well. I tried going long AMC, it failed, so I cut my loss. The loss in this zone right here was only about a $150 loss, but then I flipped the trade and got $60 puts next week expiration. The problem with that is that the implied volatility was destroying the value of my contracts. I got in on those contracts at around 60.50, around this zone right here, $60 puts. When it was trading down here at about 59 bucks, I was still red on my trade, and I was already in the money, $1.50 on the stock price. But my contracts, they were just losing so much value because the trade was really slow. So I was getting really frustrated with it, and I ended up cutting the loss. Looking back at the chart, it you know, obviously it was a mistake because the stock sold off to 55, and I'm looking at the price of the contracts that I was in, and I would have made money had I held it all, you know, up to this point. But I was getting really frustrated that the stock was yanking. The trade was in my favor. It was a good short, but the contracts just weren't moving. So the next time I play AMC, I'm definitely going to play equity. The options contracts, the implied volatility was just so juiced up that by the time I got into this, the implied volatility started slowing down, and I just wasn't making money. I mean, had I taken 500 shares or 1,000 shares and shorted AMC when I did, and got it at $59, that's a $1,500 trade, but my 10 options contracts, my puts, were not building any value. So I just got out of the trade and decided to move on. So overall with AMC, I did lose about $500, but it wasn't a big deal because there was so much more going on that I just moved on very quickly from it. So what do I take from this is that I'm not messing around with options contracts anymore with AMC. I'm just going to stick with equity and just kind of go from there. So I just wanted to share that with you guys so you knew exactly kind of how I traded AMC, the S&P 500, scalped that, And Tesla, just been scalping it all day, having fun with it. ALF, not a good trade for me. AEI was a solid trade, and so was JP Morgan. So those were pretty much all my trades. And end of the day, slightly at $1,400, and it's a nice way to start on a Monday. I do wish I hit my $2,000 goal, so that I could be on track to make my $10,000 a week. But that's okay. Maybe tomorrow I'll make up for a little bit of the gap that I have for today. So if you've got any questions, feel free to hit me up. You can comment or write your questions below, and you can join our Discord. The link to our Discord is in the description of this video. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you had a great day as well, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.